But right now, the hot topic involves the impeachment issue. Colorado Republicans continue to stand by their man, President Trump, while Republican leaders protested outside Congressman Jason Crow's office this week, saying he did not run on a pro-impeachment platform and that therefore this impeachment call is unacceptable. On Thursday, Senator Cory Gardner gave a very non-responsive response heard around the world regarding impeachment. He would not answer reporters' questions. And we'll just go from there. David, where do you see these two going?
Well, Crow was a major figure in this latest thing. He was one of 7 Democrats who wrote the letter to Speaker Pelosi saying, start doing something on this, open an inquiry on this Ukraine thing, which succeeded. I think it's okay that he didn't run on impeachment in 2018 because Trump hadn't done the things yet for which he likely will be impeached. So I think it's okay to, that he didn't prejudge. Well, I don't know I bet he'll do something that's impeachable in 2019, so I'm for impeachment already. I think he was wait till actually the acts had been discovered. In our dystopian infotainment alternate universe, I think the next several months of episodes are actually going to be kind of boring because the plot line is very predictable, and I wish they would just cut. And so next week, Trump pardons Giuliani, and then he gets impeached for that. And then we can move to the more exciting and unknown episodes in this. One of the articles of impeachment against President Nixon was his stonewalling the legitimate impeachment investigation by the U.S. House of Representatives. Trump has no legal leg to stand on with this stonewalling. The Constitution says that the House shall have the power of impeachment, and that's all it says. And I agree as a political matter that having a sleazebag like Adam Schiff running the inquiry and keeping the testimony secret from the public is a bad idea. But that doesn't mean it's unconstitutional or illegal. And if Trump continues stonewalling, I think there's a strong argument that the House of Representatives, in a nonpartisan way, just to protect its own powers, including setting precedents against future presidents or others, the stonewalling in itself would be a clearly impeachable offense. As I think Attorney General Eric Holder should have been impeached for his stonewalling about the and cover-up of the administration scheme which sent semi-automatic rifles to the Mexican drug cartels so that they could be used to murder Mexican citizens, and then after being found in Mexico could be used to promote gun control. Homicide plus cover-up is also impeachable. So let's not pretend that what Trump's doing is so different from what the previous administration did. Both deserve impeachment.
John, there's a lot to unpack here. We already had the Crow protest, and then Gardner, who wound up talking for 5 minutes to reporters and saying not a whole lot, but getting a lot of attention on the national news this morning.
Yeah, he did. And as a matter of fact, David talks about impeachable offenses. I mean, we can go all the way back to when Ollie North was in the basement of the White House trading guns for, hostages and drugs and everything, bringing drugs into South Central and killing black folks around the country with the crack cocaine. I mean, those guys should have been impeached as well. I mean, I think every administration goes through something where they have to figure out where they're at. I mean, last night you had all the Democrats doing their town hall session, but at the same time you had 20,000 people at a Trump rally, and I can't even remember one of the things that he said, but it was just horrendous. I couldn't even believe he said it. But in terms of Jason Crow, I think he, like you said, he was one of the ones that got the ball rolling, and they had to make this move in a timely manner because they get ready to go on vacation again, and they were going to run out of time if they hadn't started this hearing process. So I think in terms of what Cory Gardner has done and what he his comments this last week, or non-comments, as you will, should he stay on? Should he be reelected? I'm just saying no, and no.
Okay, Natasha, Cory, Crow, where do we go from here?
Well, let's start with Cory. I think every reporter has been in that moment where you think you've crafted the perfect question. Yeah. It's a simple yes and no. Let's just get an answer, something that's going to illuminate an issue for our readers, our listeners, whatever your audience may be. and then the source just avoids the question. But in this case, he did it again and again and again. So if anything, it'll give some insight to people about what a reporter's day-to-day life is like. But ultimately, it just hides what the question was trying to get at, was regardless of the impeachment inquiry, did he think that what had happened was incorrect? Give a yes or no on that, Cory Gardner. I'm guessing it's not the last time he's going to get asked that question. More reporters are going to come at him to try to get an actual definitive answer on that. And on the Crow question, the protests outside of his office are part of a national effort. They're going to be doing this with other legislators as well. All of it sort of, again, obviously just hides other conversations that are going on right now. You know, for instance, what probably should be headlining the news right now is what's happening in Syria, but we're spending a lot of time talking about what's happening outside of Jason Crow's offices.
And outside of wherever Gardner had been speaking. Marianne, I'm sure you followed this and wonder what's going to happen with 2020 elections, given how everyone's getting all the attention right now.
Jason Crow won his last election by 12 points. The fact that the Republican National Committee and others have identified him as a vulnerable target, I find a little bizarre. And then you also have to look at the positions that have been taken by some of the people who are running against him. Both Steve House and Casper Stockham, the Republicans in the race, and who were both at that demonstration yesterday, are perfectly fine with an impeachment inquiry moving forward. However, they both added that caveat that it should be a vote by the full House on conducting an impeachment inquiry. Constitution doesn't require it. It's not in the law. And the other thing that I thought was interesting, a year ago when Jason Crow said he wasn't supportive of impeachment, he had a caveat of his own. He said, based on what we know right now. And that was before the Mueller report came out. That was before Ukraine. And once Ukraine came out, he did a 180, and the letter that he and the other members, the other Democrats who are all military and national security experts, came forward with it. The impeachment inquiry was announced the very next day.